Welcome, College Hoops fans, to the 2K Sports Season Preview Show. We're glad to have you along for what's sure to be another outstanding season of college hoops action. I'm Greg Gumbel, and with me at the anchor desk, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're ready to give you a look ahead to all the ups and downs of the upcoming season, so let's get the ball rolling with the best teams in the nation in the very first Top 25 poll of the season. These are the top 5 teams in college hoops as we begin the new season. The Kansas State Wildcats come in as the #1 ranked team, followed by Stanford, Wisconsin, Tulane, and Northwestern. Kansas State, Tulane, Northwestern. Here's the next group of teams in our preseason top 25. What do you think of this group, Clark?
With such a long season ahead of us, it's almost impossible to put a finger on
The Connecticut. What do you think of this collection?
This looks to me like
The Horned Frogs, the Colorado. As usual, we have a lot of new coaching hires to tell you about as we start the season. Here are all the new coaches in college basketball this season. We've come to the part of the show when we look at the top player, the Arkansas. Next, let's move on to a player who's worked. And finally, we have a. Now let's move on to the second team. Welcome, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel here with my partner, Clark Kellogg. Just ahead on College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. We'll unveil our choices for the top 10 mid-major teams in the NCAA, as well as tell you where the top recruit in the nation is headed. But first, let's take a look at the best games of the past week in college basketball. We had a pair of top 25 teams in an old-fashioned grudge match. TCU got the better of North Carolina.
The posters love games like this. It makes their job easy. When you've got two ranked teams like this going up against each other, you can just sit back and see who should go up and who should move down. TCU did a tremendous job in the rebounding department. It was truly a dominant performance on the glass. They showed great hustle and determination every time a shot went up on either end. That's always an area that can really be an indicator of a team's performance, and the rebounding numbers told the tale in this one.
And two of the sport's traditional powerhouses squared off in a meeting of college basketball royalty. Duke toppled Connecticut.
These teams are woven into the fabric of college basketball, and even the casual fan is interested when they're on the court together. Blue took care of business in this one. His 13 points led the team. Watching him basically put his teammates on his back and single-handedly carry them to the victory in a big game situation like this was stupendous.
Now it's time to reveal our list of the top 10 mid-major teams in college basketball. You're looking at the future Cinderellas of the NCAA tournament.
Top to bottom, they're certainly not as strong as a list of the top 10 major conference teams, but one or two of them have just as much talent as any of those teams, especially the team in the top spot.
Loyola Marymount is setting themselves apart from the other mid-majors in more ways than one, but what really impresses me is their imposing strength of schedule. They've adopted the anyone, anywhere scheduling philosophy, and it's transformed them into a very dangerous opponent. There's just as much action in the living room as there is in the locker room at this time of year, as college coaches make their pitch to high school stars around the nation in the hope of finding a special player that'll push their program to the next level. The Indiana Hoosiers have to be considered the big Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, joined at the anchor desk by my partner, Clark Kellogg. Next up on College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. We'll recap the biggest games of the week, as well as give you a preview of some of the huge matchups coming up around the nation in the next few days. But we begin with a special player who was an easy choice as our player of the week in college basketball.
McNair was a floor general of the highest order this week. And when point guards get on a roll like he did, it's basketball at its absolute finest. He was a ton of fun to watch.
He was playing like a house on fire this week, Clark. The performance he gave leads me to believe there might be a few more Player of the Week awards for him in the very near future. He looked like he was enjoying the pressure of carrying his team, so the increased expectations should be no problem for him to handle. Now, let's turn our attention to some of the action of the past week in the NCAA with our Games of the Week. Let's get started with what turned into an absolutely terrific matchup. Duke dismantled Nebraska.
Well, Greg, this game wasn't decided until that final buzzer sounded. A couple of different bounces one way or the other, and this could have been a totally different outcome. Terry was not going to be denied. His 22 points led all scorers. Watching him basically put his teammates on his back and single-handedly carry them to the victory in a big game situation like this was stupendous.
And next up, let's look back on another great contest from the past week. Stanford outdid Purdue.
Well, Greg, this game wasn't decided until that final buzzer sounded. A couple of different bounces one way or the other, and this could have been a totally different outcome. Stanford did a tremendous job in the rebounding department. It was truly a dominant performance on the glass. They showed great hustle and determination every time a shot went up on either end. That's always an area that can really be an indicator of a team's performance, and the rebounding numbers told the tale in this one.
Now let's take a look ahead to the games that get top billing on the schedule in the days to come. This should be a terrific matchup. Both these teams are fighting to improve their position among the nation's elite teams, and they're going to have to go through each other to do it.
Stanford should come out on top if I had to make a prediction. Their backcourt is so solid this year, and their guards love to get out and run. That gives them a huge advantage in a game that should be as fast-paced as this one will be.
But that's not the only item on the schedule that has NCAA fans buzzing. This will be a fantastic battle. This is shaping up to be a prototypical style versus style matchup. Great scorers on one side of the court, great defenders on the other. This is going to be a real showdown.
Washington plays a brand of defense that should make the difference in this game. They are a tough team to score against. And if you don't squeeze the orange, they'll take it. I think they'll be in top form for this contest.
That'll do it for us.